In this week's Women in Sports, Lynx's Napheesa Collier is one of 2 team captains for the upcoming All-Star Game. A look at the locker room celebrations, plus who will be joining her as captain. And she never quits moving. The woman who started running marathons at 50 and took a new job with the Minnesota Twins at age 60. Later, a St. Peter woman caught the catch of a lifetime. She tells us about this big deal reel next.
WCCO's Women in Sports, sponsored by Franson Bank and Trust.
Thanks for joining us. I'm Marielle Mohs, and here at WCCO, we are celebrating the highlights of female athletes in this new digital segment called Women in Sports. We'll share new stories with you every week right here as we do our part to give these athletes the recognition they deserve. Well, first up, a big moment in the WNBA as the Indiana Fever beat the reigning champions to win the Commissioner's Cup. The Fever dominated the Lynx 74-59 at Target Center on Tuesday. They did that without superstar guard Caitlin Clark, who was sidelined with a groin injury. Minnesota ended the night with its worst offensive performance of the season, shooting just 4 of 16 from deep, way below their season average of 9.4 three-pointers per game. Things really fell apart early in the Lynx in the second quarter.
We had 27 points, and then we had 7 in the second quarter. That's tough.
It's good to look at it as like a learning opportunity, and with a growth mindset. We're in a position where it doesn't affect our standings, but we still want to hold it in a place that it means something to us. Like, we always want to play our best basketball.
Yet the fans showed up. Take a look at the crowd during Tuesday's game. It's rare to see the Target Center's upper bowl opened up for a Lynx game. That's usually only necessary for the home opener and playoffs. Well, we now know the starters for the WNBA All-Star Game. Caitlin Clark dominated the fan voting, of course, getting a record-setting nearly 1.3 million votes. But get this, she ended up 3rd in media voting and was 9th in player voting. Despite that, she was still will be one of the captains later this month. And the other captain is Lynx's very own Napheesa Collier. These were images from the team's locker room celebrating her new appointment ahead of Sunday's tip-off. Her 3-year-old daughter was also there for the celebration with a shirt that said, quote, "Mama, you're an all-star." She took nearly 1.2 million of the votes, and this will be her 5th All-Star appearance. As for some of the other starters, Minnesota native and Dallas Wings star Paige Bueckers will play in her first All-Star game. Asia Wilson and Brianna Stewart are among the others selected. And Nneka Ogwumike was rewarded her 10th All-Star selection, which moves her into a tie for the 3rd most all-time. Now that the starters have been announced, 12 reserves will be selected by the league's head coaches. The reserves will be announced on Sunday, and once the full player pool has been determined, Clark and Collier will draft their rosters on July 8th, and then the game will be played in Indianapolis on July 19th. Well, the Lynx are getting some new competition. The WNBA announced this week it's adding new expansion teams in Cleveland, Detroit, and Philadelphia. That will be a total of 18 franchises and an all-time high for the league, which recently set records in attendance, merchandise sales, and television ratings. The new teams will all be playing by 2030. Another big honor soon for the WNBA legend Sue Bird. The Seattle Storm announced they will be unveiling a statue of her in August. It will be outside Climate Pledge Arena. This will make Bird the first WNBA player to be honored with a statue by a league franchise. She spent her entire career with the Storm and helped them win 4 W championships. Bird was inducted into the Women's Basketball Hall of Fame last month. Well, for the first time, we're hearing from the Frost's newly drafted first-round pick defender, Kendall Cooper. The Ontario native comes to the Frost after 5 years playing for Quinnipiac. The Frost needed to fill out their blue line after losing 2 powerhouse defenders, Claire Thompson and Sophie Jacks, to Vancouver's expansion team. Frosts hope Cooper will fill that void after ending her college career with 7 goals and 19 assists as a versatile defender. But there's pressure that comes with joining the 2-time defending Walter Cup champions roster.
It's hard to be at the top, right? So pressure has been a part of my hockey career for a little bit of time now. So it's something that, I'm used to maybe, but I also just look at it as an opportunity to, I'm going to work really hard this summer and come prepared for the season and do whatever I can to help this team.
College golfers will now have another pathway to pro status. This week, the LPGA Tour announced the launch of the league's Collegiate Advancement Pathway. Under the new program, the top 10 players enrolled will earn Epson Tour membership based on their end-of-season rankings through the program. The status will be for the remainder of that season and the following season, plus an exemption due to the league's final qualifying stage, formerly known as Q Series. The new program is set to begin next summer. Well, there could soon be a revival of college basketball video games. EA Sports posted on social media, quote, "Bring the madness. Let's run it back." The last time the company released a college basketball game was in 2009. The new game will feature both men's and women's teams, but unfortunately, some bad news. Reports say the game won't be released until 2028. Some people start to wind down their careers as they near retirement age, but one woman did just the opposite by ramping up her career and her activity level. She was a teacher, and when her children graduated, she started running almost by accident. And then there was the biking club and the climbing club and pickleball league, and then of course her new job with the Minnesota Twins. Mike Max has her story.
I'm coming. How are you today?
It's 2 hours before Twins game,
Buxton!
and Elaine DeVries is at the ballpark.
I'm here for the love and a cheeseburger.
The host of the media lunchroom
Oh, I'm doing just fantastic. How are you?
for 14 years, starting work here at age 60.
Of course. A friend of mine said that there was this awesome opening here, and would you like to join me? How was your morning? And each one, I want to make sure that they feel welcome. It's all about you and me, Jerry. I call myself the ambassador.
But to understand her energy, you have to go back 24 years to the Uptown Art Fair and a shoe store.
And I saw, oh, this running store has just opened. So I walked in there, and when I walked out, I had signed up for the TC 10-miler, never having run a step.
And that turned into this. At age 50, she started running, and she has never stopped. How many marathons have you run?
I'm heading toward around, I always say around 50. I've also done many halves, but I don't really keep track of the halves.
She has run the Boston Marathon.
So the crowd support is absolutely amazing. Now, it's a challenging race, but is really the most prestigious race.
She has run Grandma's and the Twin Cities with success.
And I've won my age group 3 times. I've done Twin Cities 4 and have won my age group 2 of those times.
She's now training for her next quest, one that would check another box.
The Abbott World Majors is you run 6 marathons, and they are New York, Chicago, Boston, London, Tokyo, and Berlin. And now they have just added a 7th one, which is Sydney, Australia, which I am currently training to do.
Don't think she's obsessed with just running. She took time to climb 19,000 feet, as in Mount Kilimanjaro.
Our motto was, pole, pole, which is slowly, slowly. So you could feel the effects of the lack of oxygen.
That's not to be confused with her biking club.
And we just got back from the Netherlands in April during the tulip season that we biked about 40 miles a day.
She does leave Minnesota in the winter months to relax.
So we now winter in Florida, and so every morning at 7 a.m. our group meets and we play pickleball.
And so she keeps running, set to conquer Australia in August and maybe one more on the bucket list someday.
This one is kind of out there, but I really would like to do the Antarctica Marathon.
Come on.
And it's challenging. I mean, you're running on glaciers with the penguins.
Watch out for the polar bears.
Who wouldn't want to do that, right?
Wow, okay, that woman is quite accomplished and puts anyone's workout regime to shame. But hey, it reminds us that it's never too late to start doing something new. And again, that was Mike Max reporting. DeVries says she does take time for herself to do some weight training 3 times a week and to, of course, spend time with her husband of 49 years. Well, baseball players will be able to take a swing at the new Women's League this summer. The Women's Pro Baseball League is hosting open tryouts in Washington, D.C. in late August. This will mark the first professional women's baseball tryouts in the country in more than 8 decades. These tryouts will then determine the 150 players who will be invited to the league's draft in October.
We're looking for those who have played baseball, have a good baseball acumen, and people are going to come and watch them play, and the play's going to be so exciting and wonderful.
I think just bringing the passion that they have for baseball, and this is what this league is all about and this tryout coming about. I just think show us what you have in terms of how special baseball is to you.
The first organized women's baseball team was launched back in, get this, 1866 at Vassar College in New York. The program ran for a little over a decade. In tennis, Wimbledon is taking place in London right now, and there have been quite a few shockers. 4 of the 5 top women's seeds are already out. Among them, Americans Coco Gauff and Jessica Pegula. Gauff was one of the upsets in the first round to unseeded Diana Yastremska from Ukraine. Gauff was undone by serving troubles, including 9 double faults and more than 24 unforced errors in all. She lost in 2 sets. Meanwhile, Pegula fell to a 116th ranked player from Italy, also in the opening round of the tournament. Pegula only hit 5 winners and made 24 unforced errors. She was knocked out in 2 sets in a match that lasted just under an hour. The women's singles final is set for July 12th. And in international soccer, the women's Euros are also taking place right now, but in Switzerland. And one city is supporting athletes in a very special way. Take a look at this. Instead of the classic red and green men on the traffic lights, the city of Basel has switched the green man to a woman kicking a soccer ball. Basel is hosting the final on July 27th. Well, a St. Peter woman had a day on the lake she will never forget. The moment she reeled in this catch of a lifetime was captured on camera. I spoke with her about this amazing moment. A sunny Sunday afternoon on Lake Minnetonka, fishing guide Tanner Talbot helped net this 53-inch muskie caught by Greta Wykes.
I knew it was a big fish. I just didn't know how big. It was definitely a tough fight the entire time. The only thing I could think of was not to let go and not to fall in. It was by far the biggest fish I've ever seen, and I never expected to catch a fish that big. And it was, just pure excitement. I'm pretty sure the entire lake could hear our excitement, so that was pretty fun to experience.
Wykes is an avid angler. She's part of an all-women fishing group who connected her to her guide that day. She had one goal in mind on the water: land a lunker.
I love trying to target different species, and this was one of my first times targeting muskies, so it was definitely a lot of fun to land a pretty nice fish.
In a male-dominated sport and pastime, Wykes encourages more women to get out on the water and get the chance to experience an elusive catch like this one.
Don't let anything stop you. Just get out there and do it, because you can do anything that any other man can do. And so, definitely just get out there and try.
On Lake Minnetonka.
It's a fish of a lifetime for sure, and I'm very grateful for the experience.
And Wykes and her guide told me that they released the large muskie back into the lake. Hopefully another lucky angler will get the chance to have a similar great day on the water this summer. Well, thanks for watching this week's Women in Sports. We'll be back with more great stories next week. I'm Marielle Mohs.